So we just saw Star Wars: Rise of the Fan Fiction.
I'm rocking my my Guinness shirt and the Lucas, as I like to call it, the George.
I have a Ballast Point Brewing Company beer.
Good job, you're a true fan.
Very, very Star Wars. Okay, so
the fuck was that?
Okay, so Figures this came out around Christmas because there's a lot to unwrap here. I would say that we're gonna do a spoiler-free review right here. It'll probably be short because there's almost no way to talk about this without talking about spoilers.
This is literally spoiler the movie. Maybe that should worry you that we're saying that. I don't know. Maybe maybe you're just like, that's what I want.
So we'll give our initial thoughts, but we also don't want people to look at this and be like, a 5-hour video or however long we're gonna talk about. So we'll give our initial thoughts, which will, you know, probably be short, which to us could still be like 40 minutes, who knows. And then we'll do a spoiler video.
Should just be that an entirely different video?
Yeah, no, that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah, because I think that's just the only way to do it. Because people just want to know, is it good or is it not or whatever, just our initial thoughts.
This movie.
This movie's a mess.
This movie's bad shit.
Yeah,
so I don't even know where, I don't know where to start. Okay, I'll preface it with this. I'm getting over a big stomach thing right now, so I was like sick, and we saw it in IMAX, and we got tickets late, so we were the second row back. So I'm already kind of grumpy going into this movie, and I do feel a critic should be like, you know, up front about their experience.
Hey, we're up front. Second from the front row, my friend.
So, take this with a grain of salt going in, because maybe I need to see it again when I'm in a better mood, but...
Well, I'm perfectly healthy. I thought this was bad shit. So here's my initial thing about this movie, is that even taking out all the spoilers and the surprises and the direction it goes and stuff like that, this movie, to me, kind of felt like, and a lot of people like this too, kind of like what Frozen 2 did, where it was so much shoved at you and so little reacting to what's going on, where it's like, well, no, now we gotta go to this thing, well, now we gotta do this thing, well, this thing is over here, well, this person is back, well, now we gotta go here, and it jumps from thing to thing.
The first 10 minutes just jumps, it's almost like they remembered Return of the...
10 minutes, like half the movie.
It's almost like they remembered Return of the Jedi. It's like, remember how slow the Jabba scenes felt? Well, let's just do a whole bunch of shit, 8 different planets in 10 minutes now, and I'm just like... Slow down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a scene where you see Rey and Leia and all of them, and I leaned over, I'm like, what planet is this even? I don't think they told us what, I don't think they told us. But there's so much information going so fast, and so much fast editing, and again, it could be because we're close to the front, and we saw it in IMAX, so I may take that with a grain of salt too. It seemed very shaky too, and edited super fast, where it was hard to make out where they were and what they were doing.
Here's my problem. The old joke was that these Star Trek films were J.J. Abrams's, pardon me, my voice is kind of going, J.J. Abrams's demo reel for Star Wars. The weird thing is I was watching this and I'm like, but this Star Wars movie now looks a hell of a lot like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek. Way more so in this than it did in Force Awakens, where there were moments...
It's an ugly film, honestly.
It's a hideous film.
Yeah.
There's nothing visually...
It's like that Solo.
There's nothing visually... there's nothing visually interesting in the movie. There's very few scenes. There's a few scenes that kind of work. I'm like, oh, that's visually like interesting, but compared to... Oh, Christ. I don't even want to say it, but compared to the prequels, the prequels
you
were
could see what was going on.
The prequels were prettier than this movie.
This one's very grainy. It's very dark, which you can shoot dark well. I mean, Star Wars has.
There's a few scenes that stick out.
Yeah, there's. And I'll say it just off the bat. This is not prequel bad, and it's. And
I'm sick of that. You want to just lose instant credibility with the majority of the universe. Just simply say, well, but you know, the prequels actually did a lot of it, and really the prequels are better than this recent trilogy they've been doing. Like, you say that to me, in my head, I've literally put a little tinfoil cap on your head and just moved you that way to go talk about how the moon landing was fake. I'm like, don't even bother with that. Like, what happened? we live in a society, and there were rules, and one was everybody hated the prequels. Unless you were a child who saw it at the time, and you get a pass, because I liked a lot of garbage when I was a kid.
I think a lot of people that like it are kids. Or we're all kids, but saw it when they were kids.
No, I've seen fans our age trying to
we're getting off topic. We're getting off topic.
I hate that. Sorry, I just need to get that out there.
So it's not as bad as the prequels, and there are, like, a good handful, maybe 5 or 6, like, good scenes. I mean, where I'm like, that was cool. Like, that's really awesome.
In the entire film, I'll give it this, there are 1 or 2 clever things.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, that actually, like, because I kept lowering my expectation with each trailer. Like, I kept lowering it more and more, where I'm like, okay, my bar is severely lowered now. And, like, there are a couple things I'm like, I know, I didn't think this movie would have, like, the intelligence to do that. And it did. So, but there were so many other things I'm like, I can't believe this movie.
There's a lot of things that are, as you would expect, when they say they're not retconning everything. Bullshit, they definitely are. Some of them work. Some of them raise a bajillion more questions, where, again, I don't mind questions too much if I was emotionally invested, and it moves so fast, and a lot of the stuff where I'm thinking back to the original trilogy, like, well, I cared then, but I knew that was the thread, I knew the setup, I knew the conflict was really there. The 2 people that had the major conflict were going against each other, and then there's kind of this side pod of other characters and stuff, and you followed it. This one, I just did not give a shit about it.
The answers should make you care about the characters more. And honestly, when it's all said and done, for the most part, I care about them less in this movie than I did in Last Jedi.
Or Force Awakens,
Which, both aren't perfect films.
No.
But I thought, like, I stand by this, that Last Jedi is the most interesting Star Wars film that tried the most interesting things since Empire Strikes Back. That doesn't mean it is as good as Empire Strikes Back, but none of the prequels tried anything that interesting. What, midichlorians? Like, that's your big interest, like, you know, or the people who are just like, oh, well, the prequels had original things, none of which was executed properly, and none of which was original. Like, it's a bogus argument.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there were many ideas in the prequels, where with this one...
You knew going in right away mostly where everything was going.
Both with Last Jedi, and I'll even say some of the twists that they put in here, I'm like, they're still ideas, you know, so when I say, yeah, I didn't like this, it's not, this is the worst, like, it's...
They're all recycled. Recycled.
No, look, we lived
and there's been recycling in definitely Force Awakens. And there was definitely some, like, bits of recycling, nods to, like, Empire and even Jedi.
But doesn't it feel like there's recycling from those movies now?
Yeah,
it's not recycling from Last Jedi, it's recycling from Force Awakens.
It's not only recycling from the original trilogy, it's now recycling from the 2 movies before it.
They just did! Well, which I guess Star Wars also do. Return of the Jedi, they have to destroy another Death Star.
So much of this was, I think, reactionary, because there was a whole slew of people who, let's do that, and it's just like, well, this is what you get now. Because everybody freaked out, and it's like, well, we need fan service, fan service, fan service. We don't need anything different. We need more of the same now to kind of correct this. And I honestly think this film makes Last Jedi look like the fucking Godfather.
I mean,
and this film has a lot of the same problems, where there's like all this weird side shit going on, and you're just like, can you get to the point, please? But like, yeah, this movie's just, oh, it's so weird.
I think with the it feels super fan servicey. It feels like someone saw Last Jedi, said, I hate it. You know, not I disliked it, or this could be, I hate it, and I just want to go and do this, do that, and throws all this shit in this one movie.
Oh, and Abrams did.
Some of which is interesting.
He came out in the press junkets with some interesting things, and John Boyega too, and this is the moment where I got, because the trailers, I'm like, okay, can't always judge the right trailers, where I freaked out, and I'm like, we're in
They're
big
already
trouble.
like pointing fingers.
Was John Boyega going, yeah, there were things in Last Jedi I didn't agree with, and J.J. Abrams kind of doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, they know they might be sitting on a turd with this one, and they want to go, well, look at what our predecessor did. He's the reason.
A little to their credit, one of the major problems with Last Jedi, it was setting up some cool stuff, but a lot of them went to dead ends. You know, it didn't really like, oh, we're setting this up and now we're going nowhere. It's setting this up and now we're going nowhere. It's like we're starting to go somewhere, and then they sort of took
That's my problem with that's my problem with the film.
So to this movie's credit, they did not give, you know, it's like there's one thing you could go off of, and and that's Rey and Kylo Ren, which are still the best part of this movie. But it did not give a lot to go off of from there, but even with nowhere to kind of go off of, you feel like they could have slowed down, told something more coherent, had more character, more depth, more conflict than what was done here. By the time you get to the end, I was even asking myself, well, who's even the true villain? And I'm like, what, this guy that like just showed up in this movie? Yeah, he has a past, but suddenly this is our main villain?
Side characters just come and go. To a degree that I'm like, I can't wait to see the people who hated Last Jedi try to praise this. See, this is what, I'm like, it's the same problems. There's a lot of side stuff that happens in this movie. Like,
it's just a fast forward.
Yeah, he just fast forwarded, but I'm like, it's the same thing. Some characters just get off and some like just show up out of nowhere and you're like, fuck is this?
Yeah, I feel like with Last Jedi, and you can see this at our past review too, when I saw it, I was, with the exception of the Rose and Finsta, which even then I'm like, there's problems here. But I was like, I'm really invested watching this. I want to know where it's gonna go, and I'm so sucked in. And then even the repeating stuff, I'm like, well, it's okay because I'm so with these people. And then at the end, you know, I'm like, wow, well, that was such an experience watching it. And then the more it's said, I'm like, well, wait, that didn't go anywhere. Well, that,
a lot of
that's a surprise, but it didn't go anywhere. Where with this one, I wasn't even invested watching it.
That's the big difference is I went back and watched Last Jedi right before this, and I've said that I want to watch that film again, and I still would want to watch it again.
There's a lot of good stuff in it, yeah.
I honestly, like, I'll have to watch it again because I was in a grumpy mood, I think, when I said, but I have no desire to watch this movie.
Neither do I. Yeah.
And that's a huge problem.
Even, like, the scenes that are cool, I'm like, there's no part of me that's like,
I could just watch those clips on YouTube. Like, I'll just find that scene.
I don't even need to do that. It's like, okay, well, that's in here. It's not, because, again, it's not shot that interestingly. I mean, the other two, I really didn't feel like this was a J.J. Abrams movie, except for the fact that he's terrible at ending stuff.
Oh, I did.
But no, see, this was so rushed.
So much Abrams in this.
No, Force Awakens, I felt like really took its time.
No, here's the problem. This is completely a J.J. Abrams movie. This is the worst of Abrams. Every bad thing Abrams does, no, not just ending shit, but every bad things Abrams does in his movie, this was a collection of them beginning to end. The editing, the style and everything, this was like the best. This was like all of the Star Trek Into Darkness shit thrown into one movie. Like, this is
I keep forgetting he did the Star Trek.
Think of every bad, and this is my problem with the movie. Every bad thing Abrams has done, because I don't hate Abrams and think, oh, he's the worst thing ever. But he's done some good things, he's done some things I like, and he's done some things I don't like. This is a collection of everything he's done that I hate. All assembled into one movie. Like, it's kind of amazing. Like, it should be studied. Like, the worst Abrams has to offer. This is Abrams' portrait of Dorian Gray. Like, all of his negative energy just went into this one film.
How do I put it? It's not the J.J. Abrams that I felt like directed Force Awakens. Like he did. You know, it's like
because that movie took its time when it needed to. And that movie has problems too, but it knew what it was doing way better than this.
It's like comparing the Star Trek reboot to Star Trek Into Darkness, which were both done by J.J. Abrams, but vastly different films and like different styles and all that stuff. So
well, and the other problem when we were looking at the credits, story by, and it was like 5 or 6 different people. I'm like, God, that show.
Yeah, definitely. With just going from place to place to place.
But this I think, like, now that we're done, we can like do the autopsy, the post-mortem. This was the problem that Disney had, which is they didn't have a singular creative vision. They were going to hand it to 3 separate directors, each with their own kind of scripts. I'm like, you know, and we've seen it. Yeah, I mean, it can work, it also can't. We've seen what happens when you get a singular vision with Lucas. That's how you get the prequels, and they were garbage. But, you know, what Lucas had, I think in the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi is the weakest, but handing it to a creative team, but still having Lucas there to just generally be like, this is how it works, this is how... Overall, it felt a little more cohesive to me, even with all the silliness, Luke kissing Leia, you know, that kind of nonsense. But this one just... between having Abrams do the first one and then Rian Johnson with his own vision and then Abrams basically going like, fuck your vision, I'm going to do my own. This feels like a game of Star Wars Mad Libs. Like, everybody contributed their own little thing. And as a whole, I'm just like, so everything that Rian Johnson was setting up, we're just going to be like, fuck that. Okay.
Well, like, again, to Johnson's credit, you could argue he kind of did that in his own movie, too, because a lot of them don't lead anywhere. But there were a couple things.
I will say that.
But there were things it's like, okay, we've done this, we're now we got to work with this, and this one is retconning it.
Because we just wrote a fanscription kind of about this, like, Last Jedi, and I was talking to Walter about this, and we both have a theory. It's like, you think Johnson wanted Rey to take Kylo's hand, and Disney was like, hell no?
There was such a... The climax went so long after, though. I don't know.
There was such a push on that I don't know. Maybe that's exactly how Johnson wanted it. I would have killed to be a fly on the wall in meetings, but
here's the thing with retconning, because like it's not that the movie retcons stuff from Last Jedi, because honestly, some of it I'm like, well, like I'm thinking as a writer,
does retcon
but I'm thinking like as a writer, I'm like, well, where would I go with some of this stuff? So
it retcons it and then tries to pull the same shit just. Well, from a certain point of view, and I'm like, I rolled my eyes when a character said that.
No, but here's the thing. There's movies that retcon stuff well. I think, you know, the X-Men movies are retcon pretty well. Into the Spider-Verse, you could argue, kind of retconned the past Spider-Man stuff very well. You could argue even Force Awakens kind of retconned a few things very well. Where this one, I just felt like, I tried to look at it as a film, you know, just watching it, and I tried to look at it as like, 3 trilogies, the ones Lucas did all of, and then the ones that was Lucas, a couple other people, and this one that was all new people. I'm trying to look at it from that point of view, and I'm saying, even as the grand story, if you play them all together, there's still stuff, just major elements that are missing in terms of just good storytelling. Like, you can do these elements that they've done in this last film, they just didn't do it very well.
It doesn't feel... I don't know, it just wasn't that interesting. I think of the finale... Hell, even to Sith, and then Return of the Jedi. And then I think of the finale to this, and how a lot of it just seems kind of like a betrayal of what the first 6 were kind of trying to do. Like, this one tries to be so epic! And, like, it just ends up...
But it doesn't have the basic conflict there.
No, and it's just kind of silly. Like, we can't get into it, but
it feels very much like a fan fiction. It really does. Like, die-hard fan fiction.
Like, and I'll say this, the fanfic that I wrote for Fanscription was way more low-key than this. I'm like, wow, they went way balls to the wall crazy, like...
But with all that balls to the wall, it still feels so boring. It just felt so dull to me. And this is coming from a series that... You know, I mean, has a lot of stuff where it's Luke trying to move a rock. You know, I mean, and in Last Jedi, a lot of the time they're sitting there doing nothing. But I was so much more invested because the characters were so interesting.
We're as far from Empire as you can get with this. Like, I'd say we're as far from Empire as the prequels did it. How the prequels just felt so completely just like betraying kind of what Empire was trying to do by like slowing it down. But God, even the prequels are so fucking slow. Like, this is like... Just a completely, this is like a madcap action movie for half of it. It's the same complaints people lodged at Star Trek, really. And I'm just like, yeah, this doesn't, to me, really feel like kind of like Star Wars, like...
It didn't to me. This is the first Star Wars movie until the, you know, the prequels set aside, with these new ones where it's like, I have problems with Force Awakens and Last Jedi, but I'm like, it still feels like, man, I've missed this. I've missed this Star Wars feeling. Mandalorian, same thing. It has that Star Wars feeling, and this one really didn't. It didn't look like Star Wars. It didn't feel like Star Wars. It felt like, well, we got to make the fans happy.
And then every time it tried to do a fan servicey moment, like, it just came off even worse than anything in Last Jedi or even Force Awakens.
There's a couple I was okay with, but we'll get to that in spoiler corner. So,
yeah, I don't know. A lot of the fan servicey moments just didn't work for me. I just kept rolling my eyes like,
a lot of them did. There's a couple that did for me, but we'll go into
those. They kept kind of like forcing it into... But no, I'd say like... I remember like we watched The Mandalorian at the studio, and we had Jim J. Raz there and Tamara and Malcolm and us, and I just remember after that episode 1 of Mandalorian, I turned to Jim and was like, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay, because no matter what, we have Mandalorian. And I can say after this movie, that's my thought. It's like, we're gonna be all right. We still have Mandalorian. I'm not even gonna think about this film.
If you hear my cat meowing, by the way, I just realized I closed the door and he's meowing because he wants out. So I'm gonna do that in 1 second.
Let him out. Free him.
Free Chaplin.
Free Chaplin.
So I am gonna wrap this up because I'm running out anyway. Before I do the spoiler corner, but I would say if. I'm interested to see people not dislike Last Jedi. Like, yeah, I couldn't get into it. The ones that are like, that destroyed my childhood.
Who knows?
I'm curious to see what they think of this because this feels like this one's for you, and I'm curious if they like it or not. It's maybe one of the first times I've ever wanted to hear the die-hard killed Star Wars Last Jedi did. You know, it's like one of the few times.
Ridiculous.
It's one of the few times I actually want to hear what they think because I want to know did this.
Last Jedi is the worst thing in the history of cinema ever.
Like,
so says I, who've only watched Star Wars movies.
So no, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm legit curious. Did this fix it? Because that's clearly what this movie is trying to do. And some parts worked for me. For me, it didn't. But I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I will say this. I'm not quite insulted. I just think it's more dull.
Of the trilogies, this is definitely the worst third film ever because. Whatever you think of the prequels, the third movie was still the best of that set. Return of the Jedi was the least of that set, but I think Return of the Jedi is still a way better movie than this.
Yeah, it had some cool
So this is the worst of the third films.
Yeah, compared to the trilogies, you mean? Like in the actual trilogy?
Of the trilogies.
Yes. I see what you're saying.
How we arrive at a third film in each trilogy, Revenge of the Sith was the best of that trilogy.
Yeah.
Love or hate the prequels, you could still say, well, that was still the best one. Return of the Jedi was the weakest, but I still think that was a better movie than this one was as a third film.
Yeah. So we didn't care for it. I'm really curious what other people think, whether they like this new trilogy or don't like it or whatever. I'm curious how this goes over.
This is why I'm grateful not to be a part of a fandom.
Yeah.
I subscribe to the Mark Twain way of life, which is like I won't accept any club that'll have me. I won't accept any fandom that'll have me, and I'm like, it's very liberating because I'm like, I can just say whatever I want about Star Wars and not give two shits about what other people think.
Even though you're clearly a part of the Mark Twain fandom.
I do like Mark Twain.
I like him a lot.
And those bastards are vicious. You think Last Jedi was bad?
Mark Twain fan.
Try arguing like Tom Sawyer versus Huck Finn, man. That shit gets real.
Huck Finn ruined my childhood. It was fine with Tom Sawyer.
Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens. Civil War.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you, I think the litmus test for this movie is going to be that opening crawl. I think, and I'm gonna give away the first line because it's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
This isn't a spoiler. If you saw the trailer, you know this. This is all in the trailer. So only cut out. You're like, I didn't even see the trailer.
First line, yeah.
So the first line, with an exclamation point, simply says, "The dead speak." And it was
the first line of the movie.
That and then that whole the 3 paragraphs that followed. I remember I just turned to you and I'm like, we're fucked.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
This is the most batshit crawl I have read since the prequels.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most nonsensical, this is insane. Like, the only thing that could make it worse would be bringing up the taxation.
Yeah. I said, where's the taxation
Republic
stuff, man?
Federal trade routes or Federation trade routes or something.
So, yeah,
But if you get through that crawl and you're like, that sounds amazing! My guess is you're gonna like the movie.
Yeah.
If you look at that crawl and go like, the fuck is this? Then you're probably gonna be in trouble. That's my guess.
The crawl is to the crawl's credit, credits. In all the movies, they are a good sum up of what you're about to see.
It's true. It's true.
So guys, that's our thought. We didn't like it. I'm sure you'll tell us if you like it or didn't like it.
Better than the prequels, but that's not a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Though you said you liked Sith more.
No, okay. I would watch.
Are you reneging on that?
No. I would watch Sith over this because there's more entertaining stuff. Yeah. It's prettier stuff. There's
the acting is certainly better in this. The acting,
and there is more Emperor too. But Yeah, but I can't say it's the better film, but I would enjoy watching that over this because it looks better, it moves a little better, and it's got some cool lightsaber stuff. Where this one, I'm trying to even remember the lightsaber stuff. So blah blah blah. There you go. So yeah, let us know your thoughts too. Again, we don't know what the reaction is to this yet, so very curious. And if you want to know our real thoughts coming up, watch the spoiler.
Yeah, I'm sure 50% are gonna be like, "You guys suck," and the 50% is like, "They speak the truth."
Yeah, whatever.
It's Star Wars.
Whatever. Yeah, it's Star Wars.
We're never gonna win. So.
But yeah, you can let us know in the comments.
Don't have to worry about it.
So let us know in the comments, man. Curious your thoughts on it. And yeah, we're gonna go into spoiler corner, man. Yeah, we'll see you there.
Oh, jeez.